The company is called Fear Not from my bro Mario.
Okay.
Yeah.
Live.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the 40th episode of the High Vibe Guys.
Book.
4-0. We won't even go into the
Midlife
numbers.
crisis.
Midlife crisis of the High Vibe Guys. We how are we gonna celebrate our midlife crisis on the High Vibe Guys?
We going bald, and we need a new girlfriend.
Oh, I want to spend some money. That's the
And we need
part.
a Lambo.
All that.
40th episode, midlife crisis episode. You got your boy Boobs right here. You got Asa on the right of me. You do the intro.
Make Black Farms
There we
great
go.
again. Fearless mentality shirt wearing. Rams horn dread. All right, that's all. Yeah, Booze.
I thought maybe he was auditioning for a role in the next Star Wars movie.
I know, right? Yes.
I'm gonna let you have it.
Yes.
Rams horns for sure.
No, man, dude, Ahsoka Tano is like the
Oh,
hottest thing
okay.
in Star Wars right
Okay,
now with the
that is
Leku.
true.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
is
okay.
very true.
Indeed.
Yeah, wow, Dave, that was really great. And then
Booze said, sci-fi.
I love sci-fi. I'm all
Is
about
that the animated
Baby
one?
Yoda, who's not Yoda.
Well, she's in The Mandalorian now too.
Okay. Cool.
Live action.
Yeah, was
It's
his name
Rosario
Grogu?
Dawson.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson.
That's what you was telling us about.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mandalorian is fresh. It's very. I actually was looking at the Mandalorian Nike's Nike Dunk collection or some shit recently.
Oh what?
I am like always so late to pop culture shit. I just started watching WandaVision like 3 days ago.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's so good.
That is a phenomenal show.
Okay.
Is it? That's what I heard. It's
Don't feel bad. I skipped it until the 4th episode came out,
Really?
and now I've just been like tweaking every week, waiting for
Y'all
the next
don't hurry
episode.
up and release the fucking
Yeah,
9th episode.
Talking
Jesus.
about addictions, yeah.
I might.
But
So
Might
we
do
on
it
that
tonight.
tonight then.
the first 2 episodes, when I started watching, I'm like, the fuck is this, like a 50 sitcom, bro? Like, this shit is boring. Jeez. Oh, God, this is fucking boring. Text the dude that suggested it to me, like, bro, you're a piece of shit. You know? wasted 40 fucking minutes of my life, champ. Episode 3, boy. Smack you in the mouth at the very end, and then you like, oh, what? Oh, what's about to go on? And then from there, it's just like,
Okay.
up. End of episode, you gonna watch episode 1 and 2, you gonna text me like, man, what the fuck is this, bro? This shit like Happy Days.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yep. The episode 3 come, and at the end of episode 3, little dude come out the
Hey.
I ain't telling nothing.
Okay.
He just come out the sewer with like a bee outfit on, and Wanda instantly know what's going on when she see him, like, ah. And then from there, it's like, it's up. Phenomenal up.
It's probably good. I actually been, because I'm always in the comics, but I've been doing research on, what's her name, the witch, Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm.
She is a phenomenal fucking, like, her powers are fucking.
How about, didn't realize she was the strongest one of all of them.
She is crazy powerful. She creates alternate universe. She rearranges the world on multiple occasions, makes it into a different world. You know what I mean?
And
But-
then controls everybody in that world lucidly, except for certain pockets of the reality
Who
where
her daddy?
strength-
Where she come from?
Magneto's her.
Oh, that's a word. So she's Quicksilver's
her
sister.
pops?
Wait, I can't. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Where do Pietro playing? What is
Pietro. I don't know who.
he got superpowers because I know he had him in the Avengers.
Who is Pietro?
Her brother. In Infinity Wars, he got killed by Ultron. No, Age of Ultron. He got killed by Ultron.
Was he-
he was the one running around. super
Quicksilver.
fast.
Oh.
Quicksilver.
Is that Quicksilver?
Yes.
The fast
Pietro?
dude? That's Quicksilver. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's her brother.
Yo,
Okay.
did you know that before the newer, what's the guy's name with the thing on his head?
Vision.
Vision. Before he became Vision, when he
Lil
was
Uzi.
Ultron, Ultron was played by James, my man who played
Reddington.
Reddington.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Did
yeah.
y'all-
Yeah, with that voice.
Y'all seen the new joint?
strings on me.
What's his name? Kang.
The new villain.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so cold.
But he
Time traveler, boy.
And then he getting played by the homeboy from Lovecraft County.
yeah. Black man.
He can act his ass off too. That shit's gonna be
Ass
fire.
off, bro.
Yeah.
That shit's gonna be
Okay.
fire. Our guest gives no fucks about what this
At all.
conversation.
Said,
That's
God, y'all over here
That's
being
fine.
on some nerd shit.
Yeah, we nerds. Huh? Eat it.
What else?
Whatever.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Whatever.
I don't follow. I don't know.
I sunk your battleship.
Yeah, that's cool.
No.
'Cause it's funny because last episode I was just
It's
saying.
some shit that I'm on that y'all ain't on, so it's okay.
That's
Oh, we
the
weren't trying to say
universe.
who's better than you.
It is something that you own that I'm not on.
You are so
Y'all created
funny.
like a whole little group and y'all discuss it. It's a TV show.
It is.
talk
a TV
about that
show.
later.
Can I record live or no?
Yeah, of
can.
course, of
What?
course.
Show world. What you
Show
talking about?
I had
world.
to make sure before I did it to make sure that.
Go
it
on
was
and bring your
okay.
4 million followers online so we
I swear.
get some ratings over
This
here.
only helps us. Shit.
You so
Man.
silly.
We want to jump into the news piece.
Yes, vaccinations.
Vaccinations.
Oh man,
Etta.
I ain't messing
Edo,
with the
you want to jump in on this? Booze told us y'all had like a really
I prepped
crazy
them. We prepped.
convo yesterday about vaccinations. We all got
You would say this,
differing
like, right when I
opinions.
go live on my Facebook page, right?
hey,
Hey man,
hey.
if people stop liking you because you getting
No, I mean, everybody does what they feel is best for them.
Facts.
Let me just say that. So whatever makes sense for you and what you need to do with your life and what you think is important, and sometimes that'll change. Sometimes that will change. Sometimes it's up for discussion, and sometimes it's not up for discussion. I don't think it has to be necessarily a public discussion about what people choose to do with their bodies. You know what I'm saying? It's something I've definitely looked at both sides of it. Going into it, I'm not necessarily a proponent of it coming out the gate, but it's definitely something I've had to really think about and talk to people about and decide what I'm going to do for myself. I live a very full life, and feeling like the thought is that I could potentially not be able to travel or do the things that I want to do, how I typically live my life, has me thinking about some things, rethinking some things, and looking at pros and cons, basically. So.
Do you
That's
mind?
real.
I want to back up just quickly. Speak on my guest today. Our guest, we have SB, Sweet Potato Sensations, Naturally Fly, and probably a bunch of other cool shit that I don't know about because I'm not as cool as SB.
This is
What?
where
You
the
are cool, boo.
this is
Stop.
where that app will come in with the like the golf.
The clapping
Hey,
app.
Start clapping stuff.
Oh yeah, we never gonna have that.
Try to do something last time. Y'all
That one was trash.
I heard.
But yeah, we got a very, very special guest on the show. I would say one of our livest shows by far was when we had you on before.
Oh, sweet.
Facts.
Facts.
So
That's
man,
what's up.
it's funny because like the vaccination thing, it's like a aura of shame that comes with it now. You know what I mean? It's like unless you 65 or older and you like getting vaccinated, it's like, oh okay, getting vaccinated. Oh okay. You
think it's a word of shame behind it?
I think
It's
is
something.
I think people are definitely more judgmental about this than they are about a flu shot or any other thing for some reason.
Yeah,
You know
definitely.
what I mean? Like it's definitely more feelings behind it. And like I was really trying to accept like maybe there's some validity there. And I was like, shit, people get shots and all this other shit all the time. And it was a dude on everything I love who needed to get tested for something. And he was like, I don't know how I feel about people sticking stuff up my nose, bro. And like, we talked it through, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself, you smoke a pack of Newports every damn day. How are you gonna sit here and tell me that this is gonna be? You literally put poison into your lungs every day, and you worrying about that? It's like that's where I feel like sometimes like the imagination piece be running away with things because it's like you can't sit here and tell me this. Your breath stink. I imagine you drink a bottle of Hennessy, and I ain't mad at my man because he live his life. But I imagine you hit this with a bottle of Hennessy.
You got real specific. He like, hey, that's me.
That's a lot of people who doing Newports and Hennessy.
I know, right?
That is not. That's
2/3 of the store.
yeah. That's a
On their
that's a
breaks.
regimen for many people.
On their lunch breaks.
And I ain't mad at y'all for that as much as I thought about it. Like, how are you concerned about getting a nose swab test and you hit the? It's like something. That's why I was like, to me, it's like, where does this come from? Like, I was really confused with where all that energy came from. Cause I put it out there. I got vaccinated, and I didn't plan on it. But then a bunch of shit happened, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get a shot. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of shit going on around me, and it's difficult, man. When, cause I don't want to push it down nobody's throat. But also, you know, I want people to be real. We talked about this a lot on the show. Sometimes it's not even about impacting yourself. It's the people around you affect. You know what I mean? And really having to be conscious of that. We talked about with voting. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I don't believe this, but I also understand that having him in office is a really bad alternative. And I brought it up with SB because it is a lot of energy, and I knew y'all would have some different views on it, and I feel like it's an important subject for us to talk about inside of our community a little bit.
I think my view is along the lines of that is 100% a personal choice, and I have no view outside of my own choice and the choice that affects people in my nuclear family, moms, kids, brother, sister. You know what I'm saying? But I've had this discussion with you, with different people, you know what I'm saying? My personal feelings about it, I would never try to force down anybody's throat and be like, because I have these reservations and I feel this type of way about this, I need you to also, you know what I'm saying? We all, of our own volition, have to make decisions that's going to affect our lives. But I just do not, again, I do not trust. We gonna go somewhere else because then Dave gonna come and pop my head off for something. He's gonna be like,
nope.
did you drink water last night? Like, yeah, I did, Dave. Well, did you know that the ice caps melt? And no, Dave, I didn't know that. Damn it. But for me, personally, for me, I always go back to that. For me, I'm not messing with the vaccine. I can't.
And it's like SB also hit on a couple other points too. Is like it's gonna limit you at some point. It's just a matter of time. They already put that shit out in New York where it's like vaccinations. I can't remember who posted it. With like either you vaccinated or you don't come in some areas or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna
True.
happen.
You know, so it's like
I mean, for what it's worth, yeah, I'm a little biased. I got my second shot.
Yeah.
I actually have more faith to some degree in the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines than I do the Johnson & Johnson, because, I mean, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a traditional vaccine in that it actually has COVID in it. So the whole, you're going to get COVID from it. It's how it goes. But it's also only a single shot, whereas Moderna and Pfizer now have the downsides that you're seeing where you've heard about these variants and the mutations that are out. Well, so Pfizer, Moderna, they are what they call mRNA vaccines. They're messenger RNA vaccines. So they don't actually have the virus in them. What they have is something that says, okay, this is the protein that exists on COVID, on coronavirus. When you see that, go get it. The problem is that these mutations, that protein is exactly where those mutations are occurring. And so that's why, like yesterday, you just started seeing stories about, there might be a third shot needed for Moderna and Pfizer, depending on how this stuff all goes and how these mutations come along. But I'm also of the opinion that, to me, it's a better safe than sorry approach. I would rather, I don't have to lock my house at night, but I do. It's that one additional step that says, okay, I'm taking precautions to try to protect my stuff. And candidly, part of my decision in getting it.
that's me clacking my Glock. No.
Well, dude, nothing makes people freeze up like a shotgun rack. Just saying. But with me, a good chunk of it was we're getting more and more shows booking here. And as much as I love being in studio and as much as I love the interaction and the dynamics, that's a lot of random people.
Yeah.
And so, and I got my son's got asthma.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was being smart about what I was doing, because if I'm the one, I mean, granted, schools are a giant petri dish anyway. But if I'm the one that's expanding the bubble, so to speak, I've had our guy, I think I was Fred Brown, the guy that's the infectious disease expert. He's on Biden's team and all that stuff. Had this really great diagram that he did about, your bubble isn't what you think you think your bubble is these 8 people. Okay, great. What about the 8 people bubbles on each of those 8 people, and so on and so on and so on. And here's what happens and how quickly it happens when one of those bubbles pops, and what you need to be worried about and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I'm not going to knock anybody that decides not to take it. I think it is a bad decision. I mean, unless there is a viable medical reason for you not to, like whether it's allergies or something like that. Because I mean, those are real, and I'm good with that. But in order to get past this, this is one of those. Sometimes you got to do things for the greater good. That may or may not.
That's
be
what a lot of life is, man.
But what if the person's reason is spiritual? It's more than to do with this world that is finite. This world is finite. Your soul is forever. So what if that's the angle a person is coming from?
I don't necessarily.
You can't.
know what
You
the
can't
response
touch that.
is. Yeah, I don't know.
You
what the
can't touch
response
that. So
if you feel like the shot is gonna impact your soul, then it's like it'll be hard for us to even have a conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole different level.
Yeah, that's a
you know
whole
what I'm
different
saying?
level.
Like, so when we I get what you're saying, but just like for me, I came to the realization that for people that decide they're going to get a shot, I have no judgment at all. I have no judgment in my heart. No, this is a better way, or because I think or feel this way, you should think or feel this way. It's every individual's decision, and they're making that decision based upon I'm hoping their knowledge of what's going on, the people that they directly impact, the people that'll be around them. You know what I'm saying? But also for me, I keep saying for me, the spiritual side play into it as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I respect that. It's just like Dave
Does
said.
that apply to all vaccines or just this one?
I've never been vaccinated.
At all? Oh, interesting.
Only vaccine I had was when I was out of control. Like I didn't have control when I was like a baby.
Gotcha. Okay.
My mom,
no, I wasn't aware. So yeah, I mean, then that's a
Nope.
that's a self-made decision. I'm totally okay with it. I mean, but to your point, I mean, I look at it, and I guess doubling back on mine, I almost view, cause it's funny. I was just having this conversation the other night too. I almost view the vaccine like I view voting in the last election.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
There are sometimes, you know what, was Biden's everybody's first choice?
No.
Nope. But damn it, line up on the side against this to keep that from going on.
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it.
that's kind of how I look at it. But I mean, here's the thing, with the concept of herd immunity, if we can get there, it may not matter as much, because I mean that's part of that whole bubble dynamic and all that kind of thing. Because I want, and some of it is my. I think I told you I played hockey forever, and I played goalie, and I have kind of that last line of defense mentality. I want to be the ones my friends feel safe around. I want to be like I just and more to the point, and I want to know I'm safe. It's already bad enough, like dumb shit. Like I'm a carrier because of a girl that I dated 15 years ago. I'm a strep carrier. Strep can be floating around, and I'll have it and won't know it. And then my kid will do something stupid like use my toothbrush. Shit, he's got strep.
I definitely thought you were going to say herpes. I was about to say, Dave, why the fuck is this coming up right now? I'm so
Casual as hell.
Nah,
Just got a strain floating
I was
around.
about to say, Dave, what in the fuck? It's
Some
like
call it
when
the
you
big
started
H.
off with 15 years ago as a girl. I was
trying
like,
to stay-
oh, here
just
we
trying to stay
go.
I'm just trying to be positive, man. Leave me alone. No, anyway,
I was in Tijuana.
you and your Valtrex commercial.
I was in
But
Tijuana.
no, so I mean, it is. But again, people that chose not to vote for Biden.
Yeah.
I'm not lighting them on fire over it,
Yeah,
because
it's
I
the
mean I get it.
same.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
have to. Sometimes you feel that your own moral values or principles override whatever that common good might be, and I get it. I might not agree with it, but I get it.
Yeah. And I had the exact same notion, man. It's like the alternative to me not voting was to allow Trump to be in office. And it wasn't about me per se, because I felt like I would be fine. But it's the uncomfort in this country with him being in office for my mother, for the women I love, for the fucked up future for the people who coming up behind that shit. It was more for others than it was for myself. And the same with this vaccination. I'd be damned if I ever go home and I feel like I got my mother or my grandmother sick. Based off of my personal beliefs and saying, man, I really don't think. And then not that I'm downing anybody's as much as that's my thought process.
A little bit. It's the tone. You can't say it. I'm not.
Oh, fuck it.
Come on, bro. You're definitely down in it. But again, where I'm trying to stay in
smoke a pack of Newports every day.
where I'm trying to stay in a grounded space is I have, again, and it's because of this daggone book that Asa put us on, that I love. It's phenomenal. I love the book.
What you?
He ain't said.
Yeah, what you?
I just said.
I said it's
nothing.
because of this book.
I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying?
like
It kind of powered a certain thing, but you know what I'm saying? I have no the age old saying, the age old what you eat don't make me shit. You know what I'm saying? So I have no issues with Booz's decision making or what he decides to do for himself or for his family or for whatever the case may be, or the decisions behind it. But I also ask that same respect be given.
It's there,
you know what I'm saying?
It's there.
It's there.
It is. I'm just saying, like, I think this is a conversation, and I feel like, and I would say that if I brought this up,
if my point of view is I'm a very spiritual person. On a spiritual level, I feel like it affects me. If I were to give it to my babies or some shit like, it would affect me on a spiritual level. For somebody to be like, yeah, we need to really and hit me with that for me is like, well, damn, what's more?
I've never.
What's more you than your soul?
But I've never told anybody outside this place like, oh man, you are really stupid because you choosing not to get the vaccine. I didn't even think when I got the vaccine, it was more looking at the circumstances surrounding me and saying, how are you gonna navigate through this and be safe? And also, what would you tell people? What would you tell somebody else in your position? Look, from the outside looking in. It wouldn't, because up until then, I was not going to get vaccinated. It literally came as a result of saying like, oh, okay, so there are scenarios I can be placed in that really compromise me, and I have to make a really smart decision for myself right now. Because up until that moment, I was like, fuck it, I will get one when I make sure that the 18th generation format has been put out,
Yes,
and
okay.
I know that everybody has either died or lived as a
So
result.
that bitch tablet form.
So like up until that's why I don't want to sing because it was literally like a type moment. It was a oh, this is why I'm gonna go ahead and do this right now. You know what I mean? But that whole thing about like my mother's 66. Shit, and I ain't been home, and I live in a different state, and that variant shit is real. I don't want to take that shit to the crib, if unintentionally. You know what I mean?
Has your mom been vaccinated?
She's planning on it.
So let me ask you this, and Dave, you probably can speak better to this because you are like the fucking encyclopedia of the world. If a person is vaccinated and another person isn't vaccinated, what are the chances that the person who isn't vaccinated is going to say they were COVID positive and they went and hung out with their mom who did the whole 3 rounds? Because my mom is a nurse. She had to get the whole setup.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm COVID positive, asymptomatic, and I go hang out with my mom and we have dinner
You
and
can
dance
still
the jig
carry
and
it
shit like that.
even, but you just won't get sick.
So the
That's the
person
way
who
I
got
understand
vaccinated
it.
won't get sick.
No, so I mean
Word.
the whole point of it is that it's like any other. I mean that's the point of immunity and getting a vaccine is that your body fights it off and kills it. So
you have less chance of spreading it,
right.
then.
So that it's less likely for you to be a carrier because if you do get hit with it, your body will fight it, kill it off, and be done with it.
Okay.
And there is, I mean, dude, and that's, I love Fred and all this stuff. Like, dude, Fred will talk for like 3 hours on our show if we let him, and he gives us all this because he's a science guy. So it's all
He
math,
loved it. He
data,
loved
numbers.
his
And it's math, data, and numbers. And so there is math about like how long your exposure is with somebody, how close you are, what kind of activity it is, and like here's the variant of risk, and here's number of people by size of room times airflow that like gets you into here's the risk factor. So yeah, I mean realistically speaking, if it's two people in a room, and you don't know, it is what it is. I mean, but if one of you is vaccinated, that is a 50% chance that one of you doesn't have it. And cannot pass it along.
I got a real good question, a good follow-up question. So, I am somebody who, when COVID first started, I got it, didn't realize it.
Me?
Sick as a damn dog and had no clue. Got it in like November 2019. Sick as a damn dog, had no clue.
Probably wasn't COVID, but okay.
What? Shit, I have no.
No,
I
I
have
mean,
no damn-
there were also just really bad. There's a lot of people that said, oh, like October, November. Yeah, I mean, like unless you were in certain parts of the country, that's a stretch. I mean, but it was a really shitty flu season last year too, and you might have had that.
Yeah.
What do you think about
Whatever.
antibodies?
Well, what I'm saying is, say I got COVID prior. I just threw a month out there. Fuck it.
Right. Because so
January.
So case in
2020.
point. No, so case in point. I did. I was sick as a dog third week of January through the second week of February. Had no idea why. They weren't even testing for COVID at that point. I went to my doctor. It's not the flu. I had, I slept more in that 3.5, 4 weeks than I have in years. I had that nasty ass raspy cough. It was horrible. Couldn't get a test for it. The antibody test came out in March. I dogged my doctor. I nagged the crap out of him until the first week of April, and I finally got the antibody test. Positive.
Okay, so does your body say if you got it that way? Does your body fight it off?
Not for very long. So here's the issue. So they're still trying to figure this is where I think a lot of the issues with this whole thing have come into play is people aren't used to seeing the scientific method play out in real time. They're used to there's a problem, science comes along, here's a solution, great, and we're good to go. You have all that stuff that happened at the beginning, like about a year ago. You know what? Don't worry about masks. Oh shit. Everybody wear masks.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's science. That's the scientific method. We have a hypothesis. We test it out. Shit, we were wrong, or we were about half right. Okay, now we believe this and this, and now we're testing that out. Okay, now we're about 75% of the way there. Let's add this into it. Cool, here we go. So they don't know how long antibodies last. The best conjecture that anybody has natively is about 6 months. 3 on the short end, on the short term. So the whole point behind the Moderna and Pfizer shots is what they're saying is that first shot gets you to where you would be if you'd had it. That second shot gives you that shield, gives you that boost, that gives you that immunity. The problem, though, is they don't know how long it lasts. And that's just because this is still playing out in real time. So is this something where you're gonna need? Is it going to be like the flu, where there's a new shot every year? Is it going to be like, or is it going to be like measles, where you get it once and you're done? Like you get that dose and you're done. Right. And some of that depends on the virus itself, because coronaviruses don't act like. And here's the thing, the reason why colds still float around, that's a coronavirus. I mean, all that means is that the corona's your head, virus, your nasal systems and all that stuff. And so so there's no cure for the common cold because there's, I think, 480 some odd different variants of that rhinovirus. So, with this continuing to mutate and continuing to do its thing, because viruses do, who knows what's going to happen with this? And that's why it's hit like it had. So viruses are very weird living. I'm sorry, I'm totally biochem nerding out. But viruses are really weird entities because they have to strike that very fine line between like Ebola. Ebola will never become a pandemic. Why?
It
kills you
out
too quickly.
Fast. Yeah, it burns out.
Kills the host quickly.
Trust me, I had that shit.
The cold will never be a pandemic because it doesn't have serious enough effects, but it spreads really virally. Yeah. This is in that sweet spot of potentially really bad effects and super communicative. Yeah. So it's in, and I hate using the term sweet spot because that sounds like a positive, but for the virus it is, where as fast as we're seeing these mutations come out, and that's the other part of it. So you hear, Moderna and Pfizer, 94%, 96%, effectiveness and all that kind of stuff. They didn't include the test results from when they were testing in South Africa, where that variant was. You start including that, and it drops down into the 50, 60% range. But to me, like a flu shot is only 50 to 60% effective. Because the thing with the flu that people don't even realize is there's 4 main strains of the flu. And what happens is about a year and a half ago, a group of doctors got together in a room and said, we think that next year's flu is going to be mostly this strain and this strain, go mass produce it. Vaccine makers go, okay, cool, we'll take those 2 strains, mass produce shit. A year later comes around. Shit. Well, it's 1's there, 2 isn't, and 3 is, because that's how the mutation happened this year. So maybe it's about 50% effective. Or oh crap, it's 1 and 2, but 2 tweaked a little bit. It's about 60% effective. And that's going to be going on with this because that's the science part of this is, these guys are dude, they're doing a phenomenal job cranking this stuff out as fast as they can. And I love the fact that you're even seeing partnerships between companies that are theoretically competitors in order to get this stuff out faster now. But that's going to be the challenge: is if this becomes an annual thing.
Well, count me out at that point. I'm done. So when shot 4 comes around, if it ain't growing back my hair, I'm like, all right, y'all motherfuckers can keep this shit.
Well, but
y'all told me it was a
You got to shoot it directly into my head?
yeah. Y'all told me this was a 2-shot deal, and we going into 4. That's not what I signed up for.
But as someone who had it early though, and dude, I do like the whole and here's the other, like the whole long hauler thing is a very real thing. Like, so it's people are like, oh, it's only got a 1% death rate or whatever. Dude, it's not about the death rate. It's, dude, like the symptoms that are still ongoing.
Yeah.
All the people that have permanent respiratory issues now.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm the first person to tell you, dude, my fatigue levels are so much higher than they ever were before I had it.
Man.
Like there is hardly a day that goes by that I can't. I have to take like a half hour, 45-minute power nap somewhere in the afternoon, or I'm not making it. Yeah. My brain fog, man. I used to never lose focus like I do now, and it's like I can be in the middle of a conversation and just whoop, gone. So I mean, it's that stuff that also factors into my decision because I'll take whatever I can to try to keep the shit from getting any worse.
Yeah.
I understand that. Yep.
So that's something we gotta watch out for. What's something that we could get excited about? I'm over here thinking about the website. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we talking about you. You got the house.
Yeah. We didn't. We didn't diverted this all the way to a whole coronavirus conversation, and we got one of the flyest people in the city of Detroit sitting here at the beginning of Women's Empowerment Month. Huh?
Is that a question mark?
It was like a question mark.
Is that
exclamation mark? It's like, huh? Like, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
You beating the hell out of this damn table.
That's that passion, man.
Table was not meant for those type of whooping.
I know, right?
Dave's looking like, watch it.
I'm shooting the shit out this table, ain't I?
Yeah,
Dude, it's a beer pong table.
I believe it. I believe it's nothing but a plank of wood underneath this.
No, it's literally a beer pong table.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I could find that was 8 feet long, 2 feet wide.
Oh, okay.
One episode, I threatened to throw the mics away. They was like, "Hey, man, that's not funny." I've been beating the shit out this table. We over there smoking squares.
You know who drops mics? People who don't buy mics.
Right. Mic drop, $400. God damn, bro.
Hey, man.
But anyways,
We
let's
got-
get into our guest.
So much to cover. I don't know what you're going to cover because yesterday we had a really robust. That's what you're talking about. You talk about a whole lot of shit. A whole robust conversation.
Is that one of your 25 words?
Yeah, it's in there.
Bet.
It's definitely in there.
Gang, gang.
What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Naturally Fly? You want to talk about business? What do you want to talk about, Ashley?
I want to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. It's cool.
All right. So
What are you the most excited about?
I'm most excited about. So when I came in the door,
That it's 1 o'clock and you're finally starting to talk to her.
Yeah, right.
hey,
Yeah, and episode 40 for the High Vibe
that
guys.
is so
We'll see you next week.
funny.
Peace.
But
Dave, you told
Damn.
me you can go
jokes
long.
from
This
the
is your fault.
back.
We're going to be here at 3:45. And then,
And another thing, it's funny because when I walked in the door, I got excited to see you today. I did. I don't know. I just was like,
Just booze?
Asa.
Asa.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. I just
All right.
felt. I
What
was,
she's
Oh,
eye
just Asa?
contact. Yeah, that's fine.
just awesome.
Can we have this moment?
Well, I saw her
Yeah.
yesterday too, so
Can we
I'm
have this
good.
moment, please?
Let me go outside then. I seem to be the odd man out.
So I'm just happy. I mean, that's what was immediately made me happy is to see you today.
You about to make me tear, man. Chill. I'm happy to see you too, man.
I'm happy to see you. Yeah, so that was
Teamwork.
good. Yeah,
For sure, for
you
sure.
know. Yeah, you already know what's up. So yeah, so that's my baby right there. You know, literally. Yeah. So yeah, that was my little
Yeah,
emotional moment right here for a hot second. But yeah, I was like,
Yeah, all right.
that's why I had to touch you. I'm like, let me touch you.
Gratitude. for
Yes.
sure.
So yeah.
He all right. I'm hating.
And now
Right.
Akira feels left out.
I'm hating hard.
And guess what? Nobody cares. Back to what you're excited about. So
Okay.
I guess you definitely got to start with the website.
Yes.
I think if anybody was overdue for to
Listen.
put out some pieces of fashion.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's
yo.
talk about this. I got a bone to pick.
You got a bone to pick. So I've been doing with my sister, Naturally Fly Detroit. This is going on its 11th year.
Mm-hmm.
11th year.
Excellence.
Oh my God.
You're so silly.
They be craving sound effects in this motherfucker. So
Right.
you just
Ridiculous.
And this is like, we are like this freaking close to the website being done. It's pretty much done, but it's up, it's live. It's just password protected right now, just to make sure everything is working properly.
Yeah,
I had to get a printer to make sure I can print my labels out. And then I was doing inventory, and I was like, how am I gonna open a website up and I got 15 t-shirts? Like, how did I sell out of all this stuff? I thought I had no, so I had to order some more stuff so I can get it printed so we can do all this stuff. So it should be launched like in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm nervous. I'm nervous because it's like I doubted myself all these years, like on some real shit. Like I just thought like, what if I don't do this anymore? What if nobody likes it? Like I'm very critical of myself and what I'm doing, to the point that sometimes it stunts what I'm doing. Because I'm so overly concerned what everybody else is going to think about it. And it gets in the way of what I should be freaking doing in the first place.
So the lady who wears
Perfect is the enemy of good enough to go.
Exactly. Yep.
Talk that shit, Dave.
But I was gonna say the lady who wears cheetah, camo, and rainbow braids.
You just said cheetah? I have cheetah in braids in my
No, I'm just saying in general. You can wear cheetah, camo, and rainbow braids. You can wear that out, and people be like, "Oh my God, fashion icon."
Yeah.
But I like that though, because everybody is self-conscious, man.
Well, that's why I say that, because people sometimes look at me like, oh, you get everything you want, and oh, you just do everything, and it's so dope. But that's not my process. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes when I feel my worst is when I dress like the craziest, or like my best, if you will, because I got to push myself out of the space that I'm in. And so I share that because people just think that people that do dope shit, people that are dope, just wake up and be like, I'm fly. Watch what I'm about to do this. And that's not how I feel all the time. That's not how I feel all the time. I'm not gonna say I feel bad, but it's just not how I feel all the time.
Yeah.
And so you gotta like get yourself happy, get yourself in a good space, put yourself out. And when you have a lot of attention on you, it's a lot of eyes, a lot of things, a lot of judgment. And not that I don't like take it in, but I'm a human. Like I'm human. So I still have feelings. I still got a heart like everybody else. So I do move a little bit differently, you know what I'm saying? So it takes me a minute. So the website, like I've been closed. I almost had a website a few years ago and was like, I have paid for the freaking website. And I was like what I want to do this for? And so I've had to like talk myself back into it, and I felt some kind of way. Like, how many times somebody gonna inbox you? They inbox me. I start taking pictures of stuff I have. They say I want this. Then I send them a PayPal. Then I pack it up. Then I ship it out. That's like too many things. You know what I'm saying? Like, get a website. Let it be official. Just believe in yourself. Just like bet on you for a second. And I've been told one of my really good guy friends says this to me all the time. And then another guy that I talked to me the other day, and he said, you're like a lion that doesn't know its roar. And that shit fucked me up. It made me angry. It made me look at myself. It made me sit back and be like, how you gonna be telling me about myself, right? But it was true. It was so true. Like, I don't even realize the impact. So that's another situation. But yeah, so I have to just go. I cannot be a lion who doesn't know its roar. That cannot be my story.
Is your web developer based out of Michigan, Detroit?
Yes.
Yep. I know you about to have a cold site. Oh, I know you about to have a cold site.
And that's the other reason why. To your point exactly too. Dan, what's your name? Dan?
Dave.
Close enough.
I've been going through everything.
That's right. That's right.
In this room,
Jermon.
just call me Token.
So, that is so.
Reverse token in the room, baby.
Oh my goodness. So that's one of the other problems too.
God
is
damn,
that
Dave.
I was going through every little portion of the site, like everything, and wanting to make sure that everything was right. Like I wanted everything to be in place, every little thing. And my other homeboy was like, just launch the site.
Is that a woman thing? Please give
No.
me.
No, it's not.
No, because dude, there's a reason why I know that expression.
Oh.
When we launch stuff, dude, is it, you know what? It's almost like a Microsoft install. Like that 90% goes really, really like, and you could probably live without that 10%, but no, I want that last 10%.
Yep.
And it's going to, okay, well so this took 3 months, that's going to take 6.
Yeah.
Now you don't need that 6 months. You need to get it up. Because here's the thing. It doesn't matter what you think until you launch it and you start learning what customers think and what features they're looking for and start tracking through the metrics of your site and you could be, it could be perfect in your head and you find out it's shit for the common user.
Right.
And then you're now you delayed 6 months and you're screwed.
Over. Yeah. So that's definitely my homeboy said. Launch the site, yo. Just get it up. People want to see the growth. Don't launch it perfect and it looks perfect and nothing can be whatever. Let people see you change it around. Let people see you change the phone. Let people see you change the way it's set up. Let people see the growth. And I was so fixated on every word has to be in place. Every graphic has to be right. Move this up an inch. I don't like it being over like that. Can we take that white line out? I mean, I'm going through every little thing. Meanwhile, it's not making me it's not doing nothing. It's probably irritating the hell out of my designer. Like, will she just get this shit up? Like, can we just get this moving? So, and I throw stuff in my way sometimes. I make a distraction.
Are you still on live right now?
Yes.
Say his name so you can get a discount on our website.
His name is Adam. He's Voice Media, I would say Collective. I can give you his email, but Voice Media. He does all of my videography for Naturally Fly.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he did all, like, if you saw the little videos that we did for, like, the upcoming events, he's done all of those. And he did our website before, and then I dropped it off for several. So I told him, I said, quit crying, come back. I'm not giving up on this website. It's been, we probably known this for the last 5-6 years. It's like, sis, get the damn website up. And he was like, Etta, don't lose focus. We're almost, he's like on me, like, don't lose focus. We're almost there. We're almost there. And it's just that I just have to, I support everybody else. I buy for everybody else's website. There's a bunch of different way websites look. Some I don't like the way they function. It's like, put the shit up.
Yep.
And then a lot of my friends that make dope shit that's actually in my store, they're allowing me to put their stuff on my site.
Yeah.
So it's like a Naturally Fly marketplace situation. It's going to probably end up being something like that with not just my items, but other people's items that I carry in my own store.
And that's if you let me cut it. I'm sorry to cut you, but that is something I wanted to speak on though. Was that you have the cooperative piece.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is huge in general. I actually was speaking to, I did a radio piece recently with somebody out in Michigan. I mean, out in Ann Arbor. And I talked about your business in particular, though, because they asked what was the future of black retail and black restaurants. They asked what was the future. And I used your business as the example when I said, I brought up a couple things, but in particular, how you allow, you got Mama Neza, you got the lady I met yesterday with the popcorn. You got Ida's product in there now. You got just a variety of people. You got all the paintings that you kind of boost. That one you're selling me. You just got, but to say that like that cooperative piece, I was wondering, one, was it going to translate over to the website, which I didn't know about, and then two, kind of how y'all got into that place to where now you are very much supporting other small local black businesses.
So you're asking how we got there?
One is how you got there, and two, is it going to be on the website?
Yeah, so for Naturally Fly, it's definitely, and it was more of a permission thing. Like, okay, this is my website, but your products are in my store. Do you mind? And then most people were like, hell yeah, go ahead. Like, people were like, some of my friends don't even have a website. So they're like, yes, please. Like, I would love for you to carry my stuff on your site. And I was more nervous to ask because I don't want to step on nobody's toes. I don't want to, I'm so careful. And that's part of I'm so careful about that. And I probably should just do it and ask for permission later, but I'm definitely, or ask for forgiveness later, but I'm so careful about it. So I wanted to make sure that they knew and that it was okay so that we could keep this going. And so yes to that. So I'm always open to things that are part of our store to be on my website in particular. But for Sweet Potato Sensations, we did an interview with this TV show the other day, just last night, and she asked the same question, like, how did this kind of come about? And it really is just us. This is how we operate. Right. So it only makes sense. Like, I've had people come in and say, like, how you come with this concept? Like, you got clothes in here, you have sausage, you got ice cream, you got artwork. Like, how did you develop this concept? We didn't sit down and say, we're going to have a cafe, and we're going to have black art in here, and we're going to have ice cream. We're going to have people's products in here. We didn't just sit, that wasn't the conversation. It was kind of like each part of us as a family is just coming up out the ground. And it just makes sense. And like I said to the girl yesterday, was that to be able to have a business and I can have whatever kind of art I want to have on the wall.
Right.
And I don't got to ask nobody for permission about what Nina Simone piece with a strange fruit hanging from the piece. I don't have to ask about putting no black art, Basquiat, Nipsey Hussle up on the wall. I do whatever I want to put up on the wall.
You bitch. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Too carried away.
I'm going to sign off because my phone about to die. See y'all later. Peace. On my Facebook Live. Anyway, so...
Oh, now you gonna let that mask down? You faking?
No, I'm not. I really just because I
Flexing.
really can't breathe, and I have
It's more
lipstick
of a
on,
flex.
Yeah.
so I'm trying not to do my little lips rubbing against.
Yeah,
the front
did
of
y'all
my-
ever-
y'all niggas, I'm done with this
No.
shit.
Did y'all ever see the post that she made where she like kept her mask on all day at work and she's talking ba 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 ba, and then at one point she took her mask down to like eat, and her like lipstick somehow was in her eyebrows
It
or
was
some shit like
all
that. It was
over my
like all over
face.
here.
No.
My sister
Yeah.
looked at me and laughed. I said, "What's so funny?" She was like, "Look at your face," because I look at my face. I put my mask. I look at my face. And I had lipstick all over my face. So that's why she's pulling it.
That was
With
that
the
was one
mask.
of the funniest
So-
recordings.
Anyway, so yeah, so it's just like it's just us. It's just and then my mom had a big deal with like when she was first starting. She said when I make it, I do air quotes, that she wants to make sure that she gave space for other people that were up and coming to have their own space.
Yeah.
And some people don't have a brick and mortar or don't have. I mean, it's hard to get shelf space somewhere.
Yeah.
And we're highly frequented, so people get to see. I mean, Jetta's Popcorn, Mr. Levi's Soul Sauce,
Yeah.
Scotty O'Hottie's, Miss Linda Pruitt's Cha Cha.
Who's Scotty O'Hottie? I got a bottle of that recently.
Yeah, I think it was a part of my Goldman Sachs class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, I mean, he does big stuff. You know what I'm saying? He does big stuff. It's a white guy. I don't forget where his business, him and his wife, they're like in Dearborn or something like that. But other than that, it's like we carry people's products.
Right.
And it just worked. It just happened to, it's kind of like the Cracker Barrel in the hood, as I say to people.
Facts.
It is, but with with an unapologetic black flair. We don't have to apologize for it. We don't have to say, well, why don't we have your product in here or whatever. This is what we want to do. And so it just kind of comes naturally. Like we didn't plan it. It's just like, oh, I like your product. Okay, let's do that. And to me, it's enough to go around. It really is enough to go around. So if you, especially right now, people are struggling to stay open.
Yeah.
I literally went to the little, 28-something street food the other day. I was about to get me my little lamb.
29.41.
Yeah, my little Lambo. And I walked to the door. I was like, closed. I read a sign. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So it's like people are struggling to stay open. And they're struggling to make their bills and pay people. So if we can provide a shelf space, a partnership for them to potentially get more exposure and to help their family, to help their business, to help their brand, then why not?
Yeah.
That's just how we feel.
Yeah.
Because we don't have all the answers. We don't have all the tools. It ain't all about us. It's about, we always been like, it's about everybody. I love building teams. I love working together. I don't have all the answers to everything. I don't claim to have all the answers to everything. So hire where you're weak.
Yeah.
If I don't want to make vegan products. I don't.
You want to put that butter in there.
Right. Exactly. But who does? Neza.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Queen
and it's
Neza.
good.
Yeah.
And we make it happen.
Yeah.
And it's like you want a little vegan stuff on your menu, but it's like you don't have to do everything. If that's
Yeah.
not where you shine,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Ooh, talk.
If you're not a talker, but you have a amazing business, get you somebody that can talk good.
Talk.
Yeah. And I think part of that is like, in the past, I think it was just greed too. Like, it's so much easier to get a bunch of cheap, crappy products from one location. Let me get pre-made handmade pies. Let me get pre-made this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And your margin's bigger, but you putting out a really terrible product filled with bull. You know what I mean? That you don't know who's making it, whose hands has been on it. And I guess I think that's in part why people kind of steered away from having that collaborative piece, because you got to pay. She paid Neza. You know what I mean? They paying these people a decent amount of money to put that product on the shelf as opposed to either trying to make it themselves and save a buck or just buying something from Costco that's similar that costs, half the price, but it's a terrible product. Right. So I commend you for that too, because it's cheaper ways to go as opposed to doing a cooperative piece.
Facts.
Right.
Facts.
It's always, or it's like, I don't want to work with this person, or I want it to only be mine.
Yeah.
It's only mine. And that's fine if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's just not how we operate.
I don't think it's fine. I think it creates issues inside the community. We kind of talked about this yesterday. To some extent, we're like, we talking about kind of going through struggles by yourself, you know what I mean, and not necessarily reaching out to kind of say, yo, this is what I'm going through.
Right. We just, yes.
Like it whether it be a struggle or whether it be a success, like sharing those things. Like before, I was sharing my personal addiction, and I told him I shared, because it's the only way to move forward. But I feel like part of our community is like we want to win solo, and we want to struggle solo. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's because it's hard to reach out, because it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like, I don't know.
It's a hit to the pride and ego.
Yeah.
And we don't see it. We don't see it. It's like, why do we think we have to have all the answers?
Right.
Like, why do we think we have to have them? It is, to think that you can supply everyone's needs. Is it selfish? What is that? It's ridiculous. Man. Even in a friendship, I've learned in relationships that I cannot be somebody's everything.
No, you can't.
I cannot. And when I learned that, I was like, whoa, like, I did not know. I was like, well, you supposed to be with me and da-da-da-da-da and whatever. It's like, yo, if I'm not into your comic book situation or whatever, go to your homegirl that likes comic books. Now, don't be going over there doing no craziness with your homegirl. Let me come over the house and she's naked, and that's a different situation. But if y'all
don't start taking shots at comic books. You can keep moving.
I said that for a certain reason, because a lot of guys I typically date, they like comic books, and it's like that's not what I'm into.
Boost.
So
I was
hit dog holler.
It wasn't a shot at you, yo.
hit dog holler, huh?
Yeah, man.
It wasn't.
I just spent $300 at the comic book store.
But I'm just saying, it's like we don't. Just because we don't share the same of everything doesn't mean I'm not necessary in most things. And so it's unfortunate when people feel like they don't want to consult a publicist because they want to feel like they did all this by themselves. Or they don't want to hire a baker. Or they don't want to hire somebody to write the grant because they want to be seen that they did it. And I get it to a certain extent. I get it. But we have to unpack that. Unpack the why to why you feel like that has to happen.
Well, that's probably a lot of unpacking on the individual level. There's probably a lot of past trauma that people deal with, trust issues, all kind of stuff on an individual level.
Yeah,
I know
even
within
I
myself,
shared
I try.
with Booz yesterday, I said, like, I need some help with X, Y, and Z. And he was like, oh, I had to learn how to say that out loud. And not feel like, it's emotional intelligence in there. It's being able to say, like, even if he takes it and runs somewhere else, so what? I'm okay. At the end of the day, I have to keep opening up my mouth and speaking.
Yeah. Yesterday we were speaking, we having a conversation. It's like, how have we not had this conversation?
Right. I said we said how have we not had this conversation before? It was just like, can't believe it type shit. Right. But shit, we don't. It's not natural for us in our community to have conversations about business for whatever reason. Like we keep it pretty much streamlined. And I told her, and I tell people a lot of times, like we look at the Middle Eastern population in Detroit, Dearborn, they all work together. They all work together, from getting off the boat to getting off the plane to getting the setup at the crib to getting the business going. To the person who's supplying the snacks in the business, the person it's such a collaborative. Nobody's really riding solo on anything like that. But I think it's part of I used to tell people all the time, like people say, yo, people they come here and take advantage. Yeah, their minds are still right. You know what I mean? Like we've been conditioned out of seeing those things. You know what I mean? We really don't see where we need to work together to kind of move forward anymore. Right. And it is scary. Like that next generation we were talking about before, the next generation who's IG addicted, I can't imagine because they all about being an individual and are the biggest followers on the planet.
I can't imagine what the collaborative work looks like with them. You know what I mean? Not taking shots at them, but I just definitely got a lot of concerns about that generation.
This young generation fly though. It's some real fly young people with that type of mindset. It also fall on the generations that came before them to kind of guide them a little bit too. So we got to do our part.
And
kind of.
I say when I look, I guess maybe I look at the neighborhood because I think you got exceptions to every rule. So it's definitely some very fly young people out there.
Yep.
But when you look at our neighborhood, and I think my neighborhood's straight, but you go 2 blocks over, 2 blocks up,
Knucklehead City.
it's Knucklehead City out.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I remember when kids first started going back to school, I remember like for the first 2 months, I was like, I know your ass supposed to be back in school. I know you got to be in school. You 11. It's Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
You chilling.
You was 11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But some of that is also just like learned behavior. Like think about what we were taught when we were eating dinner and how we converse with our families. A lot of the things that we're doing right now, we're first generation doing these things. We just weren't exposed to that. Some people were. I was fortunately exposed to that as at a young age of what that looks like to start a business, what it looks like to grind, what that looks like. But some people, they're figuring this out right now for the first time on their own, and now they have to, even as far as credit goes, like a lot of stuff with money, credit, investing, these what's those places called where they go cash advance places. And some people watch their family and mothers and fathers grow up using that as a means to an end. You know what I'm saying?
Boy.
And so we're trying to unlearn these things or figure it out for the first time by ourselves, how to put our kids on our credit card so that when we get older, the kids they already have credit to pull from, and not putting bills in their names so that they have bad credit, but doing other things. And so those are the kind of things when we start talking, and I told my friends, we had a conversation more recently just about being on the same page with what we're sharing with our families. For instance, I had a long talk with my parents like a couple weeks ago about like, what do you all want to do in case something happens with X, Y, and Z? What are your wishes? What are your this? And these are important conversations that we have to have that we don't have because we're scared that we're ushering things onto us without having these kind of conversations. Even as far as money, where are things at? What is this? What is that? And we should be having those kind of conversations. Even with my friends, I said, if I learn something about money, finances, investing, we should be sharing this information. None of us should be holding on to it. We should all want to win together. And so some of that is we just have to unlearn some of the things that music has taught us, our life has taught us. Somebody hurt us, everybody gonna be hurt. Nobody means to hurt nobody for real. Some people do, but it's like we're all gonna be hurt at some point. Someone's gonna hurt your feelings, whether they mean to, whether they didn't. We have to say, well, I was hurt before. We all been hurt before. You're gonna be hurt again. Well, somebody hurt me. It's like, okay, bro, sis. It's gonna happen again. I probably will do it. I don't mean to. It's not. I didn't mean to, but whatever.
I think what it is. I've been scarred, and the healing process didn't take properly. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is because shit, you got to heal accordingly, man. Like I think some of us are blessed to have different elements, different things in our life to help us heal. Some people just really don't heal. You know what I mean?
Facts. Some people don't have the environment that's conducive to them healing.
Well, they haven't learned the coping skills, like to be able to cope and figure it out.
Or their circumstance is just that jacked up. I got a friend, I don't want to put all his business out there. I had a friend who had an abusive mom, and he would escape his house and come over to our house as much as he could until we got old enough to realize, like, why the hell are you always trying to be over here with us?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's because my mom is real motherly.
Right.
She real, like, doting. So it's a lot, man. It's a lot. People
It is
unpack.
a lot. But when we realize it, it's like, now what do we do?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it. It's like we've all, even the therapist has been hurt. The therapist got a therapist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so when we realize that, it's a point of learning, like, okay, now what do I do to heal myself? And it's healing is a process. We've been church hurt. We've been friend hurt. We've been boyfriend, girlfriend hurt. We've been parent hurt. We've been sibling hurt. We've been fell down and hurt. We've been all kind. We work hurt, church hurt. All kind of hurt. We said what?
Butt hurt.
Well, right, all kind of hurt. I like you, you like me. It ain't gonna work hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so hurt is a part of life.
I used to deal with that all the time. I used to hurt a third of Detroit women's souls, boy. Making
But
whole
it's
poems.
It's so silly.
This is what I tell people. This is like one of the things about getting older that's dope though. It's like when you learn how to cope with bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, cause I in my 20s I was the type of person to be hurt over relationships or some shit like that.
Yep.
And I remember putting holes in walls.
Boy.
I remember, I'll never forget, I was DJing heavy at one point. Came home, I was mad at one of my exes, and I like destroyed my speaker, one of my DJing speakers. And like, as soon as I was fucking done, I was like, damn, that was fucking idiotic. I like need that in 15 minutes.
Your boy calls you like, bro, 8 babes in my room. Told him about your DJing skills. I don't know. God. Come on with a speaker spell, boy.
And a lot like what Akil was saying too, it's like it's not just a young generation. It's he was talking about kind of generations being responsible for moving things forward. And it's like a lot of this generation they participate in the bullshit. You know what I mean? They out there, shit, acting like they 19 and fucking equally as ignorant as everybody else. When you scroll through TikTok, I be trying to figure out, like, you old as hell. I ain't mad at you because you can live your life. But why in the fuck you doing these silly ass dances? Why are you doing this shit in your dirty ass room? Yeah.
Me and my kid. Get your ass. Let your 12-year-old have that.
Let your 12-year-old have that. And then you try to, or you boosting and say it's a page for your 9-year-old.
Right.
And then you on there twerking. It's like, come on now.
Your 9-year-old downloaded TikTok, huh? Cold-blooded. But anyways, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just gonna say, I think when you it's always I love having interesting conversations, being an adult and being able to look at it from an emotionally intelligent place.
Right,
and I think that I had a really interesting chat with one of my guy friends yesterday, and it was like, he was like, this is interesting. I was like, yeah, we need to continue this. Like, thank you for like this is good. Like, this is good. And it's like, if he might have been in a different space and I might have been, I'd be like, I might have been like, you got me out here looking like, but it was like, okay. And I could reflect like, I was like, okay, I needed that. Like, thank you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because I need to learn some things about myself. So when you can operate from that place, it's so interesting that I take it, for me, is a journey. The things that happen to me, good and bad, that's the way they're supposed. It's all about how I take it and how I look at it. And I don't take it like as a strike against me. I'm like, this is all part of my growth, all part of me learning, the rejection, the acceptance, the anger, the tears. I accept all of it, and I check it like, okay, that's funny. Okay, I laugh about. I'm like, okay, all right, I got you.
It's up to you to learn. It's up to you to learn from your life. It's up to you to
because I self-reflect all the time. I'm like, okay, that's be like, okay, all right, that was okay. So I don't just point. Well, you shoulda and you shoulda. I look at myself like, if I woulda honored myself, my first mind. If I would have trusted my gut, I wouldn't have been here. But see, you want to see what happens if. Now you will feel a little hurt. Now you're a little.
Whole nother conversation.
Got him. I'm about to say that's self-accountability.
Boy, that just hit hard.
Well, it does hit hard when you realize, just like, I should have been the one saying, and why didn't I go with my first mind?
God.
Why does this serve me? Is it serving me?
Oh, jeez.
You're served.
Stop reading me.
When are you gonna start the Naturally Fly podcast? Because that's overdue.
Facts.
You are a great speaker. You are.
Thanks,
You're
Bruce.
phenomenal.
I appreciate that.
It's like you have just like. It's just like I feel like I could just like hit the own button and you just got good dialogue for hours.
Facts.
I like to talk. I like to talk, and I feel like with this whole pandemic, I've been kind of like work and home.
Yeah.
And very shut off from people. And then I kind of went in a little bit too. Like the pandemic sent me from being this kind of outward person to I went all the way in, which is very weird for me. And so I do enjoy having meaningful conversation with people, and I miss a lot of that. Just not connecting with people like I usually do. I just go home, and I don't really talk to too many people like that. So Yeah, so I love speaking. I like talking to people, especially when it's interesting conversation, when you feel like you can really talk for real and not talk surface for fake, like you can really share for real.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why I share about myself a lot. Well, more not to the point I want to, but I want to share more because people think of you one way. And it's like you just like everybody else. You just may look a certain way and have a certain prestige or a certain whatever you want to call it, but you are going through the same shit everybody else is going through.
Check on your strong friends.
Yeah, for real. I'll be like, check on me for real, because sometimes I'll be like, hanging on by threads. I'll be like, this, like, somebody come get me. This thread's about to.
You got Jen.
Yeah, Jen is like the hound dog. She is like on it. Like, I'm sorry, what happened?
Can I segue to something that's personal and I just want to get off my chest to Ice and the Kill?
What
Yes.
the hell we segue into? The show over with damn near.
So here's real quick. So
let's segue into this next section.
One day, Akil checked on me in the most aggressive fashion, and I was as mad. I've never had somebody check on me and piss me off at the same time. And I was like, this motherfucker just defended the fuck out of me. Good fucking God. I can't believe you
I
called
remember
me.
it too because I felt the energy. And if I was like, oh, I did not do that right at all.
Pick up the phone, man. I'm worried about you, God. I was like, oh man,
we have a Telegram group message. We talk pretty much all day. When I'm at work, these two is going like crazy. I come in the house 70 messages deep. So for about a day or two, I was really active in that boy. Like, yo, this idea and this and then this and then we should do this tomorrow. And then yes and yes. And then it wasn't like Booze wasn't responding, which wasn't, normal. And then the next day went and I saw him at work and I'm like, he's alive. That's him right there. All right, cool. I saw him. I'm like, do it seem like Booze is off to you a little bit? He like, nah, he might be a lot of stuff going on at work, blah, 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 blah.
Which
right,
it
cool.
was an immense amount of stuff. And I remember that's why I was like, when you called, I was like, I can't even tell him everything. And he just yelled at me.
I was like,
I was mad as hell.
Called his ass right away. Hey, man, I see your damn phone, man.
And
Me and Asa cried last night. We held each other.
And I was happy because, like, 4 days later, you saw, like, I was like, man, and then I couldn't even get the context. It was
chaos.
But yeah, so I need to get that off my chest because they checked on me in the worst way possible.
Man.
What I do?
Well, we talked like the day before. Well, we talked that night maybe.
We teamed up on him.
I text you.
You had a little energy when you called me too.
Of course.
He hit me with one of those.
He definitely.
You toned it down at some point, but you definitely had more energy than normal.
I definitely had energy. Hey, man, pick up your damn phone.
Yeah.
Be dead somewhere, bro.
And it was like Asa hit me up the night before, like 11. I worked 16 hours. And then he called me the next morning. It was either vice versa. And so he called right behind it. So I was like, I assumed they had talked. You know what I mean?
So there was a lot of assumptions going on, and then it was just like on top of
He
everything
assumed
else
right.
that's going on.
He assumed right.
Is
it
there
was brotherly love.
Oh,
and
brotherly
we was
love.
checking on our brother.
Right.
Making sure he was smooth.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question, just in general. Do you know how to check on each other?
Oh, we always in sync.
Yeah, with each other, yeah.
Yeah. We are.
Because sometimes I feel like sometimes people just don't know the kind of checks people need, like when to check in and
Yeah.
And I mean that was like a one-off. You know what I'm saying? But
I
just
approached it
wonder-
wrong because our connection, our dialogue is so like every day, literally like all day, every day, all day, every day, all day, every day. And it literally was like a 48-hour block where he didn't respond to text messages and Telegram. And I knew
It was
what
not text messages. It was just Telegram.
You didn't respond to my text.
Bruh, I
It was-
called you.
Because around that time, when did you put that stuff in there about the weed? Was that was because I called you that night when you put that in there. I called you the same night you put that in there. It was like 2 days before that.
Because I ain't got my phone here to go do the
Yeah. I don't remember, but it was.
But I know it was a
I
good
got
amount of
receipts.
time.
But
I ain't even say 48 hours. It was a good amount of time
But
between.
I called and left a voicemail, which
It
I
was
don't
a
even
weird
do.
amount of time they felt uncomfortable.
I said, "Yo,
with.
Kill." I said, well, "Yo, Kill. I got some ideas on how we can get that alive."
Yep, you hit me up at 11 something ish, but I was on a trip.
Receipts.
Okay,
And
and it
you
was
called me. I was
On a
on
trip.
Pluto.
yeah, and I was But that was it.
Oh my
I wanted to get off on my chest because I was like, man, I've never had somebody make me cry when they said they checking on me.
I could feel the energy when I got on the phone. I was like, I might have approached that wrong. It's a little too aggressive. Anyways, this been a long episode.
Oh, well, it was mostly a kill.
It was definitely mostly me. We gotta wrap this up. But I just want to say, you know what I'm saying? Since we ain't give no gratitude the last show.
Oh, yeah, we didn't.
I was thinking our gratitude could be for ourselves for acknowledging any bad habits or addictions that we had, you know,
Yeah,
and the fact that we are overcame or in the process of overcoming.
That's fine for you. How about you? How about you?
I'm talking about last
you keep
show,
your little
bro.
gratitude opinion to yourself.
Last show, bro.
Huh?
It's done.
You messed up the flow too. It was flowing.
Oh my goodness.
My gratitude was for Espy, and here come Captain.
No.
Episode 39
I'm
over here.
Fuck
Damn.
It. Fuck it. Cause y'all cut the
SP
show
you
off
fly.
before I
Then.
say some shit. Damn.
Espy's great. Gratitude over. You want to do that again? Huh? Dave, can we eliminate the last 3 minutes
Yeah, we about
of
to cut
also
that out.
fucking up the
Cut it
awesome
out, cut
synergy
it
right
out.
there? But real fast, and I'm gonna throw why I got a bone to pick with Etta and Jen and everybody. But you on a regular basis get my it's certain people in the city that get my blood flowing in a most positive way, get my mind
Get your
working,
juices going.
get my juices going, all that good stuff. You are hands down one of those people because A, it's consistent. Like, yo, social media posts are typically positive or something you're doing or something fly somebody else is doing in the city because you're real community oriented, you know what I'm saying? But if I see you post something, like I was working on our website that we're trying to put together yesterday. Kicked it with my brother Rafa. Shout out to Rafa. Got some good pointers. But then I saw you had posted like the Naturally Fly thing. If I could have threw my phone out my window, because I put like 2 hours into our shit, screenshotting shit off our page. Man, this is going to be so fly. And then they had this like beautiful picture of her and Jen as the background for this whole ass picture I chose for our website. I'm about to screenshot that picture. That's our website
Shit
picture.
is all pixelated.
Right.
This ain't Naturally Fly website. No, it's ours. We just like their picture, man. But
So silly.
y'all always pushing our community forward. Y'all put on, like this is Women Empowerment Month, but y'all put on for women all the time.
Facts.
Thank
All the
you,
time.
Akil.
We
I
rock-
appreciate that.
We rock dope Harris because black women rock dope hair. You know what I'm saying? It was a basis behind that. I just admire you and Jen and your parents for what y'all give to our city. Y'all got a strong hold on the city. There's people in my family that shop there, and I'm thinking I'm putting them on during the holidays. Like, if you need sweet potatoes, or sweet potato pies, you need to go holler at. Man, I've been going there
Yo,
10 years. Blah blah blah.
people use that for directions nowadays.
What you mean?
Like it's next to the sweet potato sensations.
It's not that far from Sweet Potato Sensations. If
Oh.
you go there and then I'll show you how to.
Make
Let me
a
know when
left.
you get there. I'll tell you how to.
When you pass the sweet potato sensations, make a left.
Yeah,
Damn, okay.
it's out here. Family name, household name.
Love y'all, and I will be waiting for my Naturally Fly hoodie. Tie-dye boy. I saw it online, or I saw it on your page. Can men buy this?
Men could buy. Men have bought them.
Gang gang. Boy, that hoodie is so fly. I'm on that.
I only have
Anyways.
3 left though.
Medium. I'm
I
skinny.
do have a medium.
Can I get it, please?
One medium. That's
Can you put it to the side? The
I
tie-dye
can.
boy?
It is tie-dye. But I have 3 different types of tie-dye though.
I don't give a shit. Whatever
Okay.
mediums you got.
Yeah, I got 1 medium left, and that's it.
I want to be flexing on you, Asa.
Hey
Hoodie
man,
gang.
not if I get a small.
That's all I got. But we love you. That's all I got.
The 2 sizes that are definitely available, smalls and mediums. All that's left.
Telling you, bro.
And probably a size 9 if you got one of those, because they can probably wear small shoes too.
Super skinny dude. Super skinny dudes get all the clothes, man.
Right.
It's always on the rack.
It is always on the rack.
Yeah.
Thank you for showering me with love since I was knee high. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know.
It's like a big just stretch or just love, just every single time. You know, I appreciate that. So I'm not about to talk as much as a kill, you know, but yeah, the gratitude is embodied over here for sure. Yeah.
It's probably because y'all had a personal conversation last night. Punks.
Hey man,
I'm always outside the loop, bro.
God works in mysterious ways.
I had an appreciation too, but Akil did use a whole lot of words in his appreciation.
Oh
like,
my goodness.
it was brief. It was like 7 words, and Akil used them plus another 1,000 for his thesis of a freaking appreciation. I was gonna say, I was talking with somebody about your business, and it was like, yo, Sweet Potato Sensations is a staple in Detroit. It's an institution, and I would say the same goes for you personally, though. Like, you are a staple in the city. You are your own institution, and an institution is something that people try to replicate, that people see as being a necessity inside the community because it has an important place, a role. And I definitely look at you as that for your community, equally as much as I look at your business now. And that's something you should be proud of, and not to say to separate you from the business, but as much as something you created your own identity within such a well-known brand, and I think that's really difficult to do, you know. So I just appreciate you for always being the dopest, coolest, easiest to talk to person I know. Aww. And always spending your money at my business, and I try to do it a little bit more frequently at y'all's. But yeah, and also too, taking this interview last minute. I knew the energy would be good. Yeah. It's one of the things where we ain't got to prep for it. We can just we can let it happen how it's gonna happen, and know that it's gonna be worth listening to for an hour and 2, 3, however long this is going, because it's a long ass show. But yeah, just thank you for everything, and thank you for what you do inside the city, and definitely thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank y'all. I appreciate the appreciation. That's definitely needed and appreciated, and I thank you for that.
We never give Akil appreciations like this either. Never.
Y'all are so funny.
Ever. They gave appreciation to me on Facebook, one cat, and then Booze jumped in and said, I think the same. That was sweet.
Wow.
It was funny as I meant it, and the guy responded with a laughing emoji. I was like, what the fuck was that about?
He's so stupid. I thought that same too. I don't think he meant that sentimental.
Yeah, I didn't think
I said that to him also.
Yeah.
You told me you're smart.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Whatever.
But I think it's also important for us to normalize just giving women compliments other than sexual compliments or other than body compliments, and just for whether even if that is something that's want to be given as well. I think that it's important that we recognize that we are human beings and what people bring to the table, and it's nice to be appreciated for what you do outside of what you look like.
Facts.
Yeah. So. And I think we have to do that more, vice versa, with men and women. Just saying,
I feel like you're talking to a lot of people who.
Damn.
I feel like that's.
We'll bring that up on the next episode. That's a whole. We're gonna do that on the Asa episode.
The Asa fan club.
Yep.
Well, sometimes people that are mystical, magical creations bring people closer to
here we go. You
Very true.
Unicorn again.
Waco, Texas. And we're out. David Koresh. And we're out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
All
right, that's it. Episode 40.
Yeah, that's it. Episode
40 ball.
40 ball. Of the 40th
Lead
episode.
a 40 ball on the table.
4, I say 4.
4 is a dough.
You say for sure, I say for sure.
4 is a dough.
And we out this boy.
Peace.
Peace.
Mommy, what you need?